Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Now, did you light that candle? Drive away the injustice. Did you honor the safety net nation dedicated to the preservation and sanctuary of Judaism and home for Jews everywhere? No matter what, no matter when, no matter where. To know there is a home, that's a very powerful feeling. No matter what you do, I will always be around. Won't you tell me what you found? Want you, no matter where you go, there will always be a place. Can't you see it in my face? Want you, knock down the old gray wall, be a part of it all. Nothing to say, nothing to do, nothing to be. If you would give me all, I would give it to you. Nothing would be, nothing would be, nothing would be. Now I've been off traveling for a few days, taking care of some foreign aid, back and gone again, and I met some wonderful people, as I do whenever I travel. Like Danny and Nuth, kind, generous, honest, wonderful people. And most of the people I encounter wherever I go tend to be supportive of Israel, both existing and having the right to its freedom and place in the world. In a few places I have not been, I've always encountered people who are supportive, yet there are fringe detractors. Just look at the educated members of today's university class. But of course, the majority of those protesters don't actually seem to go to the universities or live in the cities they protest in, but they distort reality. It's one of the great dangers of the mob. We focus on the small, mindless, dangerous members and give them the power of the majority, but they are not. Not yet. And we must work to ensure they never do become the majority. They did once before. How sad the mayor of as large a city as Toronto refused to participate in the raising of the Israeli flag at City Hall for Yom HaAtzmaut, claiming it would provoke the war being fought for the preservation of freedom, democracy, and the survival of Israel, and that instead it would be divisive. For now, they truly are fringe. But fringe can be extremely dangerous. Keep them fringe. Keep them a minority. And yes, they too should have a voice, and you determine what to listen to, not someone else. They too may one day have their eyes open. And I hope all of you mothers had a great Mother's Day, and that all of you took the time to visit or speak with your mother. You see, we all have them. And even when they're not with us physically, their spirit is still imbued around us. Mothers are special. They're often your first exposure to unconditional love. They are your cheering section, your support. Mother is love. Maybe I'm amazed at the way you love me all the time. Maybe I'm afraid of the way I love you. Maybe I'm amazed at the way you hold me all the time. Hung me on the line. Maybe I'm amazed at the way I really need you. You always need your mother, just as we need each other, which is why we find comfort when we come together as a group to gather and share, putting differences aside as we form a community, a like-minded group, a collective consciousness of seekers showing faith, any and all faith, love, any and all love, a true fellowship, a chavura, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes. It unites us all in this community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing and bringing light, keeping fear at bay. And even though together we are individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her or their own way. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, spiritually, whatever way at all, to gather and share. From Psalm 133, the Hine Matov, come together. Hine Matov, Nai, Shemitachim, Hine Matov, Nai, Shemitachim. How good and how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. We support each other in this community. Let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is you setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whatever you happen to believe in. We all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It is your goodwill. And goodwill and intention are the roots of what you can control, of what you can correct. Your intention also sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives. So let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Send some of that goodwill, some light, some healing out to every note that needs it. Healing and renewal for everybody. Floats with space, finding those in need, so send it out for those you know, and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. So think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love, or just plain goodwill. Focus on them, call their names. It's not just for people, it's for our pets, it's for the earth, it is the healing of the world. The tikkun olam. It's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. We are a sharing community, and we do want the best for everybody. And I want to thank you all who contributed to our silent auction, either by providing goods, buying goods, or just making cash donations. It helps keep our voice alive, and we truly are a minority voice. And we all want to help heal the world. And a part of the healing is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. So let's all send energy for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers always for those in need of assistance, like the hostages, still unspoken of, still in prison, still forgotten. We pray for those who need prayer, and they need prayer. We don't have to know them. We want health, recovery, good life for everybody around us, for Alex and Terry, for Vern, Larry, for Suzanne and Becky, for Mirjana, for Mary, for Kenny, Kathy, for Carla, Jessica and Nina, for Lucy, for Gabe and Marilyn and Maria, for Charlie, Shelley, for Gloria and Pam, for Maria, for John, for Teresa and Doria, for Johnny, Fern, for Ronnie, be well, my friend, for Connie, for Tally, for Maya, for the great Snoopy who brings joy to so many, for Nina, struggling now, and seeing the joy she brings, for Danny, for all the suffering and need. Let's not forget to include the familiars of our lives, all of our sacred animal friends everywhere, for everyone you know in need, for the whole world, for the birthday bee. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, the goodwill and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit. And spirit, my friends, never dies. Me. May the source of strength bless the ones for us. Help us find the courage. Make a life the blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Let us all have our spirits renewed. This is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as is healed before. Mishaberach, may he who blessed, because all healing's a blessing. Let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now this we can read emor, say. Now this little section, and it is a very little section, is known as the Holiness Code, because the word kadosh, holy, Remember from last week? It's used over and over again. Remember, friends, this great organic book we read cannot just be taken in its simple meaning. In fact, there is a belief that the Torah can and should and is to be interpreted on 4 levels, sometimes 5. The first 4 levels are called Pardesh, and that's an acronym for Pshat, Ramez, Drush, Sod. Pshat is the most basic literal meaning of the Torah text. It's not necessarily identical to the apparent plain meaning of each of the text words, but it's an explanation of the text based on the tradition, as it's been handed down in the oral tradition, the Mishnah and Talmud, following closely to the literal meaning. Now, most traditional Jewish editions of the Torah are published together with what's always known as Rashi's commentary, which is the classic example of Pshat exegesis. And if you go to synagogue and listen to the rabbi, this is what you tend to get. The second level, called Ramez, departs from the literal meaning of the text in search of hints and allusions. Now, much of the Torah is taught by allusion and parable. Linguistic analysis of the text, gematria, numerology, are very basic techniques of the Ramez exegesis. And for example, the numeric value of a word suggests that any other words that have the same numeric value are connected. It's a huge study in it. The third level, Drush, is the homiletic or moral or preachy exposition of the text. And it includes, moralistic homilies as well as derivation of legal rulings that are based on the text. And it's typically found in the halakhic midrashim or the agadic midrashim. And those are the legal and the storytelling midrash, which are stories. The fourth level, sod, literally means secret. Now that involves esoteric interpretation of the scripture, and that's the subject of Kabbalah. Now these sections can all be read on these deeper levels. And this reading opens with an invitation for us to actually go deeper than what it says. Leviticus 21:1. And the Lord said to Moses, say to the priests, the sons of Aaron, say to them, one shall not become impure for a person among his people. Now that's a very interesting phrase. It means to become impure by coming into contact with a dead person or someone removed from the community, because those people removed are considered dead. And we've seen many laws with the penalty being removal from the community. Even someone like Lazarus, if removed from the community, is considered dead. So when brought back to the community, would be considered restored to life. Levels. The levels of this book are absolutely amazing. I've been thinking, people do about the things that matter to me. I've decided to do what I can. Find the kind of man I really am. I can see from here. Sometimes makes me want to disappear back to nature where we belong. It was just one truth I bet you can't go wrong. Wherever you go, whatever you do, whatever you say it with love. Say everything to everyone with love. How hard is it? Be nice, be kind, be compassionate. These are all the things that cost nothing, but they bring great dividends to life. Now, this is how far back the belief that the priest, or today the rabbi, who's a Kohen, cannot be near or in contact with the dead body, even for funerals. Instead, he'll speak from another room over the PA system. And so many Kohen rabbis simply do not do funerals. I made a choice that I would do them. They're important. Too important to worry about a potential loss of purity. Purity can be recovered through processes like mikvahs, honoring the departed, celebrating the life, the energy, the spirit of someone becomes a gift for the family. I'm probably not the purest person in the world anyhow. Holiness and impurity were contagions. You can catch either of them. And of course, given the nature of man, more likely the impure. But the emphasis here is on the purity of the priest. So everything about him had to reflect that purity. And he had to be married. But no widows, no divorcees, no prostitutes, just virgins. And the priest could have no defects. He had to be perfect too, just like the sacrifice. He couldn't be injured, couldn't be blind, couldn't be crippled, couldn't be a hunchback or a dwarf. They probably just didn't have diversity and inclusion officers then. It should have been open to everybody. The community was so important to the laws and rituals and all their developments that it was the gathering festivals, about coming together. And that became emphasized holy times. And we're going to see that. It's the idea of marriage and coming together, unification, was equally strong in the development of all services. The Sabbath's forever built on the theme of bride and groom, God and his people. Therefore, the priest must be married, as an example. But in the ritual matter of the priesthood, physical conditions superseded such considerations. Finally found a way to live just like I never could before. I know that I don't have much to give, but I can open any door. Everybody knows the secret. Everybody knows the scope. I have finally found a way to live in the presence of the Lord. Now, I personally think God accepts the handicapped, the infirm, those who are strong, those who are weak, those who seek to reconnect to the spiritual wholeness of life. And after we have the sudden recap of these necessary purities, we get the recap of the holidays. Leviticus 23:2. Speak to the children of Israel, and you shall say to them, the Lord's appointed times, which you shall call holy assemblies. These are the appointed times. So there's this great list of all the appointed times we already know about. 6 days' work shall be done, in the 7th day is a Sabbath. A ceasing, a holy assembly, you shall do no work. So the first one, and always the most important, is the Sabbath. And then we get the listing of the festivals. Right? These are the Lord's appointed times. Holy assemblies that you shall proclaim their appointed time. In the first month, on the 14th of the month, between the two evenings, is the Lord's Passover. On the 15th day of the month is his festival of unleavened bread. You shall eat unleavened bread 7 days. You shall count from the day after the Sabbath, from the day of your bringing the sheaf for an elevation offering, 7 Sabbaths. 7 Sabbaths, of course, are 7 weeks. And when you reap your land's harvest, you shall not finish your field's corner when you harvest. You shall not gather your harvest gleaning. You shall leave them for the poor, for the alien. Speak to the children of Israel, saying, in the 7th month, on the 1st of the month, you shall have a ceasing, a commemoration with horn blasting, a holy assembly. Now, this is the most interesting holiday of all in many ways because it's not named. But coming 9 days before Yom Kippur, involving the blasting of a horn, it's clearly the holiday that's now known as the Jewish New Year, Rosh Hashanah. It's not known by this name in the Torah because, as this verse indicates, it came in the 7th month of the calendar. In the Torah's calendar, the first month comes in spring, and the first holiday is Passover. On the 10th of the 7th month is the Day of Atonement. You shall have a holy assembly. You shall degrade yourselves, and you shall bring forward an offering by fire to the Lord. And finally, speak to the children of Israel, saying, on the 15th day of this 7th month is the festival of booths. 7 days for the Lord. On the first day you shall take fruit of appealing trees and branches of palms, boughs of thick trees, willows of a wadi. This, of course, is the famous lulav and etrog. Holidays had special meaning, and they were greeted towards the spiritual cycle of life and geared around that spiritual cycle, and always with ways of showing gratitude. We think of holidays a little bit differently. We think of them as like a fun time off. My suggestion is change the I in holiday for Y. It's not a holiday, it's a holy day. Each of the holidays that they're talking about, these assemblies, had to do with God. It's also the first time that the term Chag is expressed. We use it all the time when during one of the holidays someone says to you or you say to them, Chag Sameach, meaning happy holiday. But really it's a term reserved in biblical usage for the pilgrim festivals only, which are these Moedim, the fixed times listed here. The fixed times of God, the Sabbath, Festival of Flatbread, Passover, which celebrates freedom. And then Thanksgiving, Shavuot, with its own special instructions. Remember, this book was a handbook of ritual for the priest, not the layman. There was no need to recite the holidays again here, but here it is in the midst of the holiness code. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish. Celebrate your life and the lives of those you love. Share feelings with them. Live free. Be free. Honor your freedom. Be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. An end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together. We celebrate with each other. We love each other. We share this ride together, men and women equally. Let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. And please do learn to forgive. Learn to love, including yourself, maybe especially yourself. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Examine your intentions and use them to imprint your will on the universe. Remember, we set in motion all that happens in our lives. Our intention, our kavanah, our cause, our effect, it's all linked. You always have time to forgive and to be forgiven. You have the knowledge of what's good and bad, so acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness, but do so with sincerity, accountability, with vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you. As you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So keep on dreaming, my friends. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching. Keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It is always in front of you. And work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness, in your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear. Forgiveness, not anger. Be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and belief. Do not accept shame as a natural state, because whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other because we are each of us trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean, because you're never alone on your journey. Keep forgiving those you need to forgive. Keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. Listen to the voice of God. As she, he, it, them, they, whatever, talks to you. And remember, love all. And say what you mean. Always say what you mean. Say you. Say me. Say it for always. That's the way it should be. Say you. Say me. say it together. Naturally. Well, thank you for joining me, my friends. Keep sharing the light, practice forgiveness, be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving, believe in yourself. Spread a little goodwill to the world. Continue to be the miracle in someone else's life. Be an example. Teach someone how you became free. And say everything with love. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care.